Imagine being a part of a group, and you do your best to bolster the morale of the whole group, only when the event is over for everyone to pair up in their little circles and leave you by yourself. It is times like these when you might think, I'm not appreciated here, I'll just leave this group. But then no one wins. The group loses a valuable member, and you are left without a community. So what we need to do is pick up a little more tact when dealing with all kinds of character types and people. Do you want to be friends with similar or different people? It's a strange formulation because no one wants to look closed-minded. But I bet if we looked at your circle of friends, most of them will probably be similar to you. So what's with the discrepancy? It's an interesting point of departure to get to understand better the conditions for friendship. Similar in which way? Not group identity, such as nation, race, religion, or class. I have traveled enough in my life that I don't feel the same as any one group of people. I have ties with many types of people, and I always appreciate inclusion. I like people with good manners. The best friends I ever had were at university. We were people who would read literature and have philosophical discussions. That's my idea of a good time. And even though we were in competition with each other technically to see who would get a higher or lower grade, that never impeded our friendship, so that anytime someone had a question about a research topic that was not familiar to them, someone else would always suggest a helpful author or a book title where to start. And you might say, then what made you similar was your level of education, again your background. But I would argue, there were other students and peers who seemed spoiled to me, and I didn't want to be friends with them. It just so happened, by good luck, that a group of considerate people gathered together at the same time and place. So I would say, similarity then, is character and integrity. One type of person I tried to avoid is the petty and aggressive. We've all stood in line only for someone to come up and cut to the front. And sometimes you might say something, other times they look so angry, you think they'll turn around and start a fight. I'll just let this one go. So, what makes for similarities also makes for differences, and that comes back to character type. But we can learn more from different people. Imagine it's hard times and there are food shortages. Everyone's gonna have to run to get the food. And if you don't, you'll go hungry. And this can happen once or twice, but eventually you'll also have to start running to get what is yours. Does that mean everyone has to become pushy? Well, we can apply lessons in our own way, meaning become more competitive. Let's get back to the example from the start of this video of doing a lot for a group, then feeling left out. How can competitiveness help us there? Well, just because you did a lot up front does not mean you can then afford to coast. When you see an event is over and everyone scuttles to whoever they liked to network, you sidle up to your bias. Hey there. You mean show interest in someone? Risk being rejected? Learn how to make small talk? It can be difficult to give and keep on giving when reciprocity is low. But the more that you do, the more your worth becomes undeniable. Eventually, you will start winning over hearts and building up your own influence within a group, which is when you will get the recognition that you deserve. Surprisingly then, the biggest lesson we can learn from dealing with different kinds of characters is social skills. There are many benefits that come from learning how to socialize with all kinds of characters. It's nice to be friends with considerate people, but that will not always be the case. Sometimes negative energy will spread throughout the environment, and we don't want to let that get to us. We want to keep on smooth talking for continued cooperation, which will be good for everyone. I've been finding unexpected creativity from making videos on social topics. Another similar and interesting video that you can watch is from Socially Awkward to Charming. Otherwise, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to Poetry and Play for more interesting videos on how we can continue getting along better together.